Welcome back, warrior. Okay, we are going, so yesterday's was so long. The Joseph Smith history was so long. And today we're going to be reading the brief explanation of the Book of Mormon. Okay, I was going to mention a couple other things because I think this is a good spot now that we're in order to learn about things that happened before the Book of Mormon and maybe 6 Book of Mormon eras. And let me get my Reddit hostess study here up because she has some good information to talk about for this. So apparently I need to log in. What? Honestly. And this is why sometimes having devices is the worst. Technology is awesome, and then it's the worst at the same time. Okay, so we're going to go in there. Okay, but we're going to just start reading the brief explanation about the Book of Mormon while that loads. So the Book of Mormon is a sacred record of peoples in ancient America and was engraved upon sheets of metal. 4 kinds of metal record plates are spoken of in the book itself. Okay, so we have 4 different kinds. So the plates of Nephi, which were of 2 kinds, the small plates and the large plates. The former were more particularly devoted to the spiritual matters and the ministry and teachings of the prophets, while the latter were occupied mostly by a secular history of the peoples concerned. And this was, it looks like Faust got a package. Did you get it? Okay.
So it's probably not it.
Probably not it.
It says mixture there.
Let's see what it is. Oh, yeah, this is different. I'm sorry. Okay, well, we were waiting for Faust to get a package, but instead we got our mixers for our hormone balancings. This is not an ad. Sorry, Faust. Okay, so probably tomorrow then for sure. He's very sad because he's looking forward to some Ninja Turtles that we ordered via text through someone. So hopefully that will come tomorrow. Okay. So we're still on number 1 here. From the time of Mosiah, however, the large plates also included items of major spiritual importance. Now on Instagram, Sister Kristen Walker Smith, who does the 1-minute scripture study, she has a video posted about this. I think it's pretty helpful. So, you can try and go and watch that. There's also a bunch of videos actually that we could watch, that help us with understanding what plates were where and things like that. So number 2, the plates of Mormon, which consist of an abridgment by Mormon from the large plates of Nephi with many commentaries. These plates also contained a continuation of the history by Mormon and additions by his son Moroni. Okay. And then 3, the plates of Ether, which present a history of the Jaredites. This record was abridged by Moroni, who inserted comments of his own and incorporated the record with general history under the title Book of Ether. Now, I love the guys who are doing the commentary because it feels like something I would do, right? I think the commentary helps to explain things a little bit better in maybe our own terms. And so maybe that's what they were trying to do for us. Then number 4, the plates of brass brought by the people of Lehi from Jerusalem in 600 BC. These contain the 5 books of Moses and also a record of the Jews from the beginning down to the commencement of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, and also the prophecies of the holy prophets. Many quotations from these plates citing Isaiah and other biblical and non-biblical prophets appear in the Book of Mormon. Okay, so here we go. Also, if this makes 0 sense to you, that's okay. The first 10 times I read it, it made no sense. And I'll just be completely honest, it still kind of makes no sense, which is why I like to look at other people's videos when they explain things, because I feel like they can explain things in a manner that is a little easier to understand. But then also it's so funny because they can explain it and then I still can't explain it back. And that's okay. I don't necessarily think that it's all like, if you don't know the order of the plates or the intricate details of these things, like, you're not able to gain a testimony of Jesus Christ. No, that's not it. So don't worry if you don't get it. You're still going to be able to experience that power that we're going to get from reading the Book of Mormon, right? Okay. And that we were promised, because we are promised that. So the book, and then, okay, so now we're on the paragraph, the big paragraph after number 4. Okay, the Book of Mormon comprises 15 main parts or divisions, known with one exception as books, each designated by the name of its principal author. The first portion, the first 6 books, ending with Omni, is a translation from the small plates of Nephi. Between the books of Omni and Mosiah is, okay, so let's try and do a little bit of a visual here. So the first portion, the first 6 books ending in Omni. Okay, so ending in Omni. Let's see what this says here. Don't worry. I don't know where Omni is either. Apparently. I need that song. First and second books of Nephi. Jacob, Enos, Jeremiah. Oh. So it's before Mosiah. Somehow I got confused because my bookmark was in there. Okay, so good thing I knew that song. Okay, so right here, ending with Omni. Okay, so this is a translation from the small plates. Okay, so you can see here, a translation from the small plates of Nephi. And then between the books of Omni and Mosiah is an insert called Words of Mormon. So, and it's very thin, like 2 pages. So this right here, okay, is between the books of Omni and Mosiah, insert called Words of Mormon. This insert connects the record engraved on the small plates with Mormon's abridgment of the large plates. The longest portion from Mosiah to Mormon, chapter 7. Okay, so from Mosiah. I'm trying to keep my finger in all of the spaces. From Mosiah to Mormon, chapter 7. Again, probably need that song. You know, Sister Winegar over here. Okay, struggling with finding scriptures. Is it after? Okay. Here we go. Okay. This is just making it longer, isn't it? You probably already found it. Okay, which is great. Let's see. The concluding portion from Mormon. Oh, wait. Okay, so from Mosiah to Mormon, chapter 7, inclusive is a translation of Mormon's abridgment of the large plates of Nephi. So right here is the large plates of Nephi. Okay, so far these are what we're looking at. Can you see this? I don't think you can see it because it's blurry. Okay. And then, but you can get an idea. And then the concluding portion from Mormon chapter 8 to the end of the volume was engraved by Mormon's son, Moroni. Okay. So all this is so neat. I'd never done this. This is a good exercise to do. I'm gonna have to do this with my kids, because it's just kind of fun to see like how much things were written by who. Okay, so this was written by Moroni. Okay, so this, let's see if I can, nope. Okay, so that's awesome. And that was Mormon's son, who after finishing the record of his father's life, made an abridgment of the Jaredite record as the Book of Ether, and later added the parts known as the Book of Moroni. In or about the year AD 421, Moroni, the last of the Nephite prophet historians, sealed the sacred record and hid it up unto the Lord to be brought forth in the latter days, as predicted by the voice of God through his ancient prophets. In AD 1823, the same Moroni, then a resurrected personage, remember we read that yesterday, visited the prophet Joseph Smith and subsequently delivered the engraved plates to him. And we read it yesterday and even the day before that. So you can find that in the history or the Joseph Smith history, chapter 1, or in the testimony of the prophet Joseph Smith when we read those videos before this one. Okay. And then it says, about this edition, some minor errors in the text have been perpetuated in past editions of the Book of Mormon. This edition contains corrections that seem appropriate to bring the material into conformity with publication manuscripts and early editions edited by the prophet Joseph Smith. Awesome. So we covered that. And then after that, usually in copies of the Book of Mormon, we get awesome pictures from people. So this one is a gorgeous picture of Jesus Christ. And we have the authors we have the artists who have painted it. This one's from Henrik Hoffman, Jesus Christ. And then we have the prophet Joseph Smith. And this one was by Alvin Gittins. Okay. And then there's more. We're not going to go through all of them, but you know, there's cool pictures. This is supposed to be of Lehi and his family. And then this one is of Samuel the Lamanite on the wall. This one's one of our kids' favorite stories, scripture stories. This one's of Christ appearing to the Nephites at the temple. And then this one is of Moroni bearing the plates. Something that I do love about this picture and about the whole like Moroni preparing plates for us is how protected they were for us. Like, he didn't save them for the people that were there. They made these records because they saw us in our day and they knew we were going to need them. And I can tell you that I have no idea where I would be with my healing, with peace, with anything if I didn't have this sacred book that has been preserved and saved for me and my family to come closer to Jesus Christ. It has literally saved my life, saved my family, and has brought me so much peace and love and has helped me so much. And they knew that this was going to be so needed, and they treated it as an important record. I mean, at least most of the people did. There are some people that you're going to find as we read that we're going to be like, how come they didn't put a little bit more effort into it, right? And, you know, life happens. And sometimes we don't journal. And sometimes I don't journal, you know. So it makes sense. Anyway, so that's the reading of our brief explanation. And I was going to add some things. So this is from the Kristen Walker Smith, and she kind of talks about certain things before the Book of Mormon come. Let me make sure that I don't have any additional things from Reddit Hostess, because I know that they love giving some information. It's so good. Okay, so it seems like she didn't really put any information about the intro or the brief explanation, but you know what, I will read this part. Okay, sorry, I wish I could rewind, but it's too much work to try to edit stuff, and I knew that if I was trying to edit things that we would just get too distracted and never actually do anything. So I'm sorry that we're not editing, but also you get to see everything live, raw, and hopefully that'll give you encouragement to do the hard thing that you need to do. Okay. A brief explanation about the Book of Mormon. Remember, so this is the Redheaded Hostess study guide. This offers a breakdown and explanation of the Book of Mormon, including the 4 different plates used in the Book of Mormon, the 15 books in the Book of Mormon, what Mormon and Moroni abridged, Moroni's role in bringing forth the Book of Mormon in the last days, and information about the editing of the Book of Mormon. So we got that. We didn't really even need that. So that is that there. And then, so before the Book of Mormon, so I kind of wanted to review some of these things here, okay? it says, God created the world. So this is a book for ages 8 to 11. So I just want you to know that this is my son's study guide, and my teenager's study guide is downstairs, and I'm not going to go get it. And I asked him to keep it in the same spot that we have all the other ones, and he did not want to. So I'm not going to make it a big thing for him. I want to make it as easy as possible for teenagers to be able to read, right? Okay. And so it says, what is the story before the story you'll read in the Book of Mormon? Here's the big picture of what's been going on. So God created the world. Some of his children were righteous, but some chose not to follow him. So this is going to be very broken down. And this should be easier for us to understand and hopefully bring some things to light. After many years, only 8 of God's children were obedient. God covered the earth in a flood that killed the wicked people, right? And if you remember the story of Noah, that's the Noah's Ark. And it's interesting to outline the fact that there were only 8 people on there, okay? But there was space for so many more people. They just didn't choose to follow. Okay, the people began to spread across the land again. Some tried to build a tower to get to heaven. God destroyed the tower. Okay, so we remember Tower of Babel. Can you see it there? My phone likes to focus on my face, which is great, but then not good when I'm trying to hold stuff up. Okay, and then God made a covenant with his prophet Abraham. God protected Abraham's family and saved them from a famine in Egypt. This family was called Israelites. Okay, we remember that. See the Egyptian. Okay, and then the Israelites were made slaves in Egypt. A prophet named Moses saved the Israelites from slavery. He took them to a special land called Canaan. God had prepared this land for the Israelites to live in and follow him. So remember Moses, okay, parting the Red Sea. Then the Israelites were in Canaan and built a temple and were sometimes righteous and sometimes wicked. I can totes relate. So that's this picture. And then God sent prophets to warn the Israelites to repent or else they would be destroyed. And that's the sample prophet right there, representing a bunch of prophets. And now we are here. Okay, so we are trying to read the Book of Mormon. Okay, and then 6 Book of Mormon eras. Okay, the storyline will jump back and forth as you read the Book of Mormon. Use this timeline to help you figure out where you are in the history or in the story. Okay, so these dates are all estimates. Okay, the first, so this is kind of the chart. And again, this is not an ad. I'm not trying to get people to buy other people's things, but I like them because these things help me to understand the scriptures better. Okay, so first explorers were 2200 to 599 BC, and around 2200 before Jesus was born, some people in Mesopotamia tried to build a tall tower to reach heaven. God didn't like it, so he made the tower fall, and people couldn't understand each other's language anymore. A man named Jared and his family escaped with God's help and went to the Americas. See, and then in the Americas, Jared's family grew for about 2,000 years, but they fought each other in wars that killed everyone. Isn't that crazy? Okay, and then 2 more groups arrived. So now we're here. 2 more groups arrived, 600 to 482 BC. You can pause this video anytime if you need to see that page. A long time ago, a prophet named Lehi and his family left their city, Jerusalem. They later came to the Americas with God's help. When Jerusalem was destroyed, a man named Mulek, who was the king's son, escaped with his people and also came to the Americas. Lehi's sons made 2 groups, the Nephites and Lamanites. These 2 groups didn't get along and fought a lot. Haters, you know. Okay, divided Nephites, 481 to 129 BC. Major events. So after a long time, some of the Nephites started doing bad things. A prophet named Mosiah led the good Nephites north and found a city called Zarahemla, where some other people called Mulekites lived. The good Nephites and Mulekites became friends and helped each other. A man named Zeniff left Zarahemla to go back to the land of Nephi. After many years, the Lamanites made Zeniff's grandson Limhi. After many years, the Lamanites made Zeniff's grandson Limhi and his people their servants. Okay, so yeah, that was and then number 4, unified Nephites, 130 BC to 35 AD. People from Zarahemla went to help the Nephites who were captured by the Lamanites. All the Nephites decided to live in Zarahemla. Some Nephites went to teach the gospel to the Lamanites. Many Lamanites were converted and joined the Nephites up north. Number 5, Jesus Christ is 36 to 200 AD. Major events there is some Nephites started being wicked. Secret combinations spread among the Nephites and Lamanites. Jesus came to visit the Nephites after he was resurrected. After that, the Nephites and Lamanites had 200 years of peace without fighting. Isn't that awesome? Okay, and then 6, end of the Nephites, 201 to 421 AD. Many Nephites and Lamanites started doing bad things until almost all of them were wicked. They fought a lot until the Nephites were dead. The very last Nephite, Moroni, buried the scriptures in a hill called Cumorah. Okay, so that is pretty much the gist of the whole entire Book of Mormon. We have Finn's going to be playing a soccer game here any minute. And we want to read just one more thing. Oh, there's so many things, actually. So many things. And I guess this is the Redheaded Hostess study guide that I did not present. But when you subscribe to their study guide, it like has all the things for like kids, teens, and adults. And so it's pretty awesome that way. But I thought I clicked on something different, and apparently this is not the one. But there is a couple challenges that she gives, and I think that those are awesome. And it says, identify one thing from this table poster that inspires you. Post it on social media. Okay. So there's a lot of things, the study tip. But I would suggest, since you don't have that, I would suggest posting something on social media that inspires you about the Book of Mormon. Now that we're ready to dive into the actual reading of the Book of Mormon, what has inspired you in preparing to read the Book of Mormon throughout this whole time? What new thing maybe did you learn, or what did you notice? Or if you have a question, like what is it that you are wondering? We always ask our kids, like, do you have a wonder or do you have a notice? Because these things help to spark their curiosity, and it's a safe place for them. And then write your testimony of the prophet Joseph Smith in your journal. And I think that would be such a great idea for us to do that and take time to write our testimony of the prophet Joseph Smith. And I remember some missionaries challenging me to write my testimony inside the pages of the Book of Mormon. And let's see, I don't know if this is a copy that we did that in. Probably not. Oh, actually it is. So, and this is the testimony that my husband wrote, actually. And so it's pretty awesome. And this was back in, I don't know if you put a date, but I would challenge you to write your testimony of the prophet Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon, whatever copy you're reading, because that way you can keep it safe and put the date on there. And then there's a lot of blank pages, so you could almost write a testimony of the prophet Joseph Smith the next time you go to read it again. And then you can compare and see the differences, or add your testimony about the Book of Mormon after you're finished reading it. So anyways, that's my challenge. Write your testimony and then share something on social media, because we want to spread and flood the earth with the Book of Mormon. Thanks for being here. You're amazing. Thanks for showing up and helping me to stay consistent with reading my scriptures, because this is a goal that I personally have, to make sure that I read every day. And so I appreciate you being here to kind of be my buddy and help me. And I don't know how you want to set it up, but you could set me up across from you, and you have all these things set up in front of you. And as you're reading, you can move forward and backward, and you can watch the whole video. You don't have to watch this whole video. This is just supposed to help you get started. I want you to be able to dive in yourself to get the study going, so that you know what you're doing, because you saw what I was doing and inspired you maybe to do your own thing. So I love that you're here. Thanks, and stay strong, warrior.